finger-friendly makeup. Today's video is all about the makeup that is so easy to apply. It's foolproof. I'm going to focus on certain brands that are very finger-friendly, certain products, certain formulas, so let's jump in. When I use my fingers to apply my base makeup, I like to stick to makeup products such as skin tints, CC creams, foundation sticks, and I like to stay away from full coverage foundations. I like to stay away from matte finishes because I find that those foundations, they set fast. And when I use my fingers, I get streaks and not the best blendability when I use my fingers. So I like to stick with products, the makeup bases that are a lot more emollient. This one that I'm using today is the Yves Saint Laurent YSL, the Bare Look Skin Tint. This one is beautiful for the everyday. It looks natural. It feels weightless on the skin, and it wears really well for a skin tint. And then the last step, I really like to pat the makeup in to ensure that I'm not gonna have any streakiness for my finish. Make sure I have some kind of towel on hand or a napkin to, so that way your makeup products are not dirty from the makeup that you're using. Okay, so let's move on to concealer. I find that most concealers, they're very easy to use with your fingers to blend them out. The same rule applies to me personally. For full coverage, matte finish concealers, I find that they're not the best with finger application because I'm not getting the most out of those type of concealers. I kind of want to use my Merit stick. This you can use all over your face as well, but I like to use this for my concealer. For finger-friendly bronzer makeup, I personally, most of the time, will go for a brush because I want either my contour or my bronzer to have a little more precision when I'm blending and where I'm placing the bronzer. But if you want like a sheer wash of color for your bronzer, I would go for like the Jones Road. Their gel bronzer is incredible. It blends out so easily with your fingers, a brush. But I wanted to share a cream bronzer in this video that is so easy to work with your fingers. This is the M Cosmetics So Soft Bronzer Stick. And this formula, it is so buttery soft and it's very pigmented, but you can sheer it out. But this formula is really beautiful to work with. And this type of makeup, you don't have to do your full face with your fingers. This is just kind of the scenario where you don't like to overcomplicate things. If you're traveling or you're just, kind of like a one type of brush makeup applier, or you don't like using brushes, I think these types of formulas are so lovely to work with. And I'm just using tapping motions to apply this. You can see how easy and seamless that is because that formula is so creamy and so blendable. And then I'm just gonna take a different finger without the product and just softly stipple this to my cheeks. So for blush, these formulas are my favorite for finger-friendly application. I really enjoy a cream stick blush because I find that most of these formulas, they're so creamy, they're emollient, they have a nice balmy texture where they are going to help blend easier. This one right here is the new Summer Fridays. Their Blush Balm Stick, and this shade Pink Skies is also one of my current favorites. And I also wear this all over my lips for a pop of color or add like a monochromatic look. And a newer formula to NARS, this is their Afterglow Liquid Blush. This one is beautiful because it's very sheer in color. You can build it up, but the formula is so fluid where you can use your fingers to blend this in and it wears incredibly well throughout the day. But I will say because the formula is so sheer, a lot of people won't like this, but if you're a minimalistic type of a makeup wearer, I think you'll enjoy this newer formula from NARS because they are so easy to use and they are sheer in color. And they do have a beautiful glow to the cheeks. I just do kind of little dots where I want the blush to sit instead of just swiping it. And then the fingers. And again, I'm wiping my fingers between applications. That way I'm not mixing the formulas too much, like the colors. You know what? Let's just do both blushes. After all of my cheek products are done and my base makeup and concealer, I'm gonna go in with my makeup setter, setting spray, and set my makeup a little more. eyeshadow formulas that are finger friendly, think one and done eyeshadow. So that could be stick, that could be cream, liquid formulas. I'm gonna use this one right here, the Jones Road The Best Eyeshadow in shade Penny. I'm just gonna go all over the lid. You can really intensify this eyeshadow. It's a powder formula. And again, I'm kind of utilizing all of my fingers to blend. I'm gonna build it up a little bit more. I'm gonna stamp it first and then use my other fingers to, I'm kind of like tapping and swiping at the same time just to soften those edges. So for eyeliner, typically, you don't use your fingers to apply eyeliner, but you can use your fingers or even your nails to help blend into your eyelids or create wing eyeliner with, if you have fingernails, like longer fingernails. This right here is the Victoria Beckham, the Satin Kajal Liner. So this does have a little sponge tip applicator. I also like eyeliners like this as well, so that way it's all in one and you don't really have to use your fingers if you don't want to, if you need that extra precision. But I'll show you kind of what I like to do if I don't have any brushes or if I don't want to use the sponge tip applicator. Let's say I didn't have, or my sponge tip broke for this eyeliner. I'm just gonna take my fingernail and create a sharper wing. Because these eyeliners, they're so smooth that they don't tug, they don't skip, even when you're using your fingernail. That's why I wanted to share this formula right here from Victoria Beckham. It is finger friendly, or your fingernail friendly. There you go. Mascara, self-explanatory. I'm using the Milani Highly Rated Lash Extensions Mascara. I'm just gonna use the same blush stick that I used for my cheeks. Okay, so let's say you're looking at your skin, you're like, whoa, okay, I have oily skin type or normal to combo and I'm looking way too glowy right now. And if you don't wanna use powder, obviously, this is a great option. This is the Revlon, it's kind of like the rock volcano. It picks up the excess oil off your skin. So let me show you how it works. And it's like a roller ball. So you just gently go over your makeup. This is a great touch-up if you don't like to use powder. I'm gonna do half of the face so you can see a difference. It still makes a difference. I'm not applying powder, and this is a really great touch-up. And all you do after you use it, you can just take the ball out and you can wash it. So this right here is the finished look, using only my fingers and my fingernails to complete this makeup look. Again, I'm gonna say this. You don't have to use your fingers to apply your full face of makeup. I do prefer brushes over my fingers for most of my makeup products because it gives me precision, it gives me control, it gives me the coverage, the pigment that I want from that specific makeup product. And I find that it's a little easier to apply with brushes, specific brushes, but you can use your fingers to apply most of the makeup out there, especially if they're cream formulas, certain liquid formulas. But I did want to mention a specific makeup brand that does focus on finger-friendly makeup application, and that's Trini London. I didn't use any of her products in today's video because I have a full video of just using her makeup, and there's a reason why it's so great. First of all, I like the stackable makeup. I think it's incredible, genius design, and it's in a pot form, so very easy to take your fingers in there and warm up the product before you go onto your face. The one thing is they're not long wearing. So again, I'm gonna say it. If you're applying your makeup with your fingers, you're not gonna get the most longevity because the type of makeup you're applying, it's a little more emollient. It has a balmy texture, so I find that those products, they're not the most long wearing on the skin. So you do need a long wearing product to go on top of it. For example, a setting powder, a setting spray, or a makeup primer underneath that will help grip the makeup to your skin. There are makeup brands that are targeted towards the minimalistic, blendable approach using your fingers, and Trini London is a great option for that. I'm gonna end it here. Thank you for watching, spending time with me, and I'll see the next one very soon.